All right, so we're looking at social and commercial arithmetic, mathematics. Today we're looking at calculations involving shares. The share is part ownership of a company, right? Public limited companies sell shares in order to raise money so that they can invest in new projects or invest in new assets, all right? The shareholder is the person who buys the shares, dividend, money paid to the shareholder, ordinary share capital. This is the total value of the shares. If you learn in accounts, if you take accounts on the balance sheet, right under the equity section, you find ordinary share capital, right? So this is just the total value of the shares. Then we have the face value, which is also the nominal value, which is the book value, which is also the par value. This is the original price of the shares, or think of it as the amount printed on a share. Just like money has an amount printed on it. So if you have a 10 kwacha note, right, the face value of that 10 kwacha note is 10 kwacha, right? As is, you can see the value printed on it. Then you have the market value, which is the current price of the share on the securities exchange, right? The market value and the face value do differ, all right? And then here's a useful formula. Number of shares equals the ordinary share capital divided by the par value, or the cost per share. All right. So let's look at some examples here. Jack bought 50 shares from of a company, all right, at 300 kwacha per share. The nominal value of the share was 100 kwacha. Right. So the first question is, what did he pay for the 50 shares? Right. So this is the market price, right? He bought this on the securities exchange. So that's the market value of the shares. Then we have our nominal value, all right? These shares, it's 100 kwacha which is printed on them, all right? So these 100 kwacha shares are costing 300 on the market, 300 kwacha, right? So what did he pay for the 50 shares, right? So it was 300 kwacha per share. So we're just going to say cost of shares, okay, so it's going to be 300 kwacha times 50 shares. All right. So 300 times 50, that gives us 15,000 kwacha. All right. So you pay 15,000 kwacha, right, to get 50 shares, which were costing 300 kwacha each. The next question is, what is the ordinary share capital? Right? What is the total nominal value of the shares? All right. On the balance sheet of this company, under the equity section, all right, there should be an amount which represents the total value of the ordinary shares. And this is the ordinary share capital. All right. So 50 shares multiplied by the nominal value. Okay. So as we can see here, this formula here, ordinary share capital. Ordinary share capital equals the number of shares multiplied by the par value. All right. The par value, the nominal value, or the book value. The number of shares he had 50 shares multiplied by the par value. Par value of the shares is 100. So ordinary share capital of this company is 5,000. All right. Let's look at this next question here. A company has 1 million ordinary share capital and it issues 200,000 shares. What is the par value of the shares? Right? What basically, how much is each share? What's the amount printed on the shares? All right. So remember our formula here. Ordinary, I want to find the par value basically. Right. So par value is going to equal to the ordinary share capital. We say par value equals to the ordinary share capital divided by the number of shares. Right. So when I total value of these shares is 1 million. There are 200,000 of these shares. All right. So let's say 1 million divided by 200,000. That's 5 quad. All right. So this is the amount printed on each of these shares. All right. Although on the stock exchange, all right, the price might be different. That is the market value of the shares, which we're not going to go into details in. But this is our par value, the cost per share, the book value. All right. So now I just want to explain how this table here, which is on the stock exchange. All right. Let me just zoom in. All right. Usually, when you go on the any securities exchange, all right, you're going to see various tables. Right now, here in Zambia on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, I'm going to explain to you each of these columns what they mean. Right, what it means. Just add something here. So, column one, basically, this is just the company's name. Right, I've added a fictitious company, J Limited, but under this column, this is where you find the name of the company. All right, so column one, name of company. Column two, this tells us the stock exchange where the company is in, all right, we call it the securities exchange where the company is in. All right, so for this J Limited company, it's on the Lusaka Securities Exchange, right? Column three, the currency. Okay, column three, the currency. Right, column four shows the closing price of one share. Right, this is the closing price. All right, this is how much one share is costing. Okay, the market value. All right, this is where we find our market value. And column five, shows the change in the share price. Right, column 5. Change in the share price. Right, column 6. Number of shares traded in that day. Number of shares traded that day. And then finally, column 7. All right, total value of the total value of the shares that were traded. Okay. Right. So let's ask ourselves this. Right. So if we look at this table, how many shares have been traded in that day? Right. It's 87,500. Right. And then you will find what is the total value of the shares traded in that day. All right. We're at 87,500 shares traded in that day. Multiplied by the closing price of the shares. All right. So say 87,500 times the closing price, which is 0.35. Right. So find the total value of the shares traded in that day. It's 7,500 times 0.35. We get 30,625. Right. Yes. So that's that about shares. So let me just put this amount here. 30,000